Today, I want to talk about my experience with power and influence in the workplace. And I want to start by talking about my resume. And I think it's really true that what's currently written on my resume is really to impress and to help me get the next best job. And things like how much I helped increase revenue last year or what percent I saved on budget is really what my resume is made of right now. But the two things that have really helped me to assume my role as a director and to help me have any sort of power influence in the workplace is my knowledge and my expertise in crisis intervention. A lot of what I do in healthcare management is based on length of stay, and my ability to speak intelligently to mental health diagnoses helps me in utilization review when I'm speaking to insurance providers, and also when I'm speaking to physicians and providers and individuals in the medical field. It helps me garner a level of respect amongst my colleagues. Also, my strong background in strategic account management, which really speaks to my relationships in the industry. I have an ability to connect to many different people in different positions, and it has a lot to do with my charismatic attitude and my drive and passion for the work that I do. I also think it's true that who you know is helpful, and the social networks that you interact with and how often you interact with it speaks volumes to how much influence you can have. An example of a coworker that is currently using an influence tactic is an individual who just got promoted to the chief operating officer. As you can see here by the pie chart, this is just based on her background, and her experience is little. She's got some good relationships, but the second she got the position and the title, she had legitimate power in the company. People were intimidated by her, even those that thought it wasn't a good move or thought that she didn't deserve this position were intimidated by her. And I think it's true also that based on just her position and title, people want to be convinced that she was in a position of authority and she was worth heeding. And just that title change in the position puts her in a position of authority and have influence and power. A coworker, and the one that I spoke of in the last module, who was prematurely promoted into a manager position, could have really used the influence tactic of rational persuasion. The book talks about how this is the most effective way to influence any sort of change in a leadership role. And he could have used like data and facts and clear and specific relevant information for that department to influence change, and to even gain some respect from his subordinates. I also think logical arguments would have been beneficial to say, hey, this is how things were done in the department using some year over year data and statistics, and this is where we could go using the same statistics and the same pacing of numbers. And this would really help to promote change and the direction that the department would go into. Also, exchange tactic, had he used any sort of reward system. I think when you're rewarding your departments or your employees, you're giving them attention and respect. And just by giving some training and empowering some of his employees to become leads in the department, or establishing some relationships with people that were doing really well. Also recognizing them based on strengths and weaknesses, more so on strengths, saying, hey, you're doing a good job, and calling them out once in a while. And, some of the rewards, as easy as taking them out to lunch or bringing lunch into the office once in a while or planning some events with them. It just shows them that you're in a position of power and that you also care. For me, I believe that the influence tactic of referent power is very helpful. Like I said earlier, I've been told that I have a charismatic attitude and personality, and that power has helped me to influence through respect and admiration. I have many people that look up to me, just based on my attitude and my drive, and my ability to draw people easily comes from my authenticity. I think what I was taught early on was to be transparent with all your work, and that helps me also have a strong track record of accountability. I believe that if you tell your employees or someone to do something, you should be able to do it yourself, and that sort of accountability takes you far when it comes to influencing any sort of change. And also the ability to instill trust and elicit action through attractiveness, which brings me to one of my favorite quotes, leadership, which is by Max Dupree, and it states, the first responsibility of a leader is to define reality. The last is to say thank you, and in between the leader is a servant. And I firmly believe this, and it's really helped me to be in a position to affect any sort of change in my company and be respected in a position, in a leadership position and a position of power. Thank you.